Hello, everybody. My name is Sister Hersey, and I'm an 18-year-old organizer from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I'm inviting you all to join me to Race Forward's first ever youth-led, youth-centered convening. #Race and Our Present, Our Future. This virtual gathering will be taking place on Saturday, September 25th, and will be an international dialogue that will center the solutions-driven, movement-making work of young people within Black, Latinx, Pacific Islander, and Asian American communities. Our future is dependent on the conversations and actions that we take right now at our present moment in history. So join us.
Race and Our Present, Our Future is a virtual one-day intergenerational conference taking place in partnership with the Funders Collaborative on Youth Organizing on Saturday, September 25th, 2021. We will center the powerful intersectional work of young people and youth leaders at the forefront of the movement towards racial justice. We have a very special guest with us today. Joining us is Gianna Ramirez, a 15-year-old leader and an intern at Generation Justice based out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Gianna sits on our National Host Committee, who helps steer the planning of this event. Welcome, Gianna.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gianna Ramirez. I'm 15 years old, and I identify as Mexicana Chicana. I am second generation Mexican American, and I am also mixed with Indigenous blood. I'm going to be a sophomore. I've been with Generation Justice for almost 2 years now. My role with Generation Justice is currently as a youth media justice intern. So I, along with the other interns, have spent a lot of time together this summer to do work surrounded by GJ's core values. We've done radio, we've done interviews, and a lot of social media work. I actually recently presented on critical race theory. And so I feel like overall my role has really been to continue Generation Justice's decolonization and anti-racism work. I came into this work, I would say, from a really young age. Both of my parents are social workers. So I feel like I've just always been surrounded by their work and kind of always been aware of the issues facing my community. With that, I joined GJ 2 years ago. And I feel like it just really opened a whole new door for me. You know, the GJ core values are youth leadership and empowerment, community, action, equity, and multiculturalism, and of course, love. So I feel like my role has just been growing in each of those areas and becoming a stronger leader. Just as much as GJ has had a role in my life, I've had a big role in GJ. And so I feel like we all have a role within our organization.
I always catch myself when I ask that question, like how you begin the work, and to know that at 13, you know that you wanted to be involved within the movement is amazing. I'm thinking back to myself at 13, like where was I? What was I doing? And why was I not this involved? So that's amazing to hear, Gianna. What is the role of Generation Justice in the planning process, and what has the planning process been like for you?
Yeah, so Generation Justice is on the National Host Committee, and it's made up of youth organizing and advocacy groups from all around the country. I worked on planning the breakout sessions, and so within that process, there was a lot of open conversations and group decision making. And so I feel like every person on the committee is just representing their organizations and their communities as much as we possibly can. I feel like because of that planning process and just the way it's gone, you know, no one's voice has went unheard. And I feel like we've all had a really open space to just share our ideas and the things we want to see within this conference. It was decided that GJ would be able to lead the media justice breakout session on September 25th. And so once again, I feel like that planning process has just really allowed every single organization's work, as well as the work at GJ of racial and media justice and decolonization, to just flourish and really take a leadership role.
I'm glad you mentioned your experience on the host committee, because a lot of people don't know that internally the conference and convenings team does rely heavily on the community to make sure that we are addressing the topics. So you guys got a little bit of insight on how we operate internally at Race Forward when it comes to producing our events, when it comes to connecting with the community. So thank you, Gianna. Normally, Race Forward events have some great segments on their main stages throughout their conferences. What can people expect to see on the main stage during this event?
So the main stage is going to be really amazing this year. We will be joined by co-founder and co-executive director of the United States Youth Climate Strike, Isra Hirsi. She's going to be joining us as keynote speaker and panel moderator, and she's going to be there for a conversation on race and climate change and environmental justices. I feel like throughout the whole conference, people can really expect to see her strong leadership, and that's really going to be up and in the open on the main stage.
Yes, we're very excited to have Isra Hersey as our keynote speaker and panel moderator. She is a climate activist, a racial justice advocate, and is the daughter of the U.S. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. She's a shining example that young people of color are leading the transformation to a better world. A little bit of insight on how we actually select our keynotes. We actually do a share-all between staff, but this time we kind of did it a little internally with the core team, Tiff, who is co-leading this project with the phenomenal director of the Conferences and Convenings, Leslie Grant, have put their heads together and literally put the asks out into the world. And Isra has kindly agreed to join us. We're excited to have these conversations and excited for you all to lead us through these conversations, right? It's not often that we have youth leading us in conversation. And I'm ready to take a back seat and be a student to all the youth participants that are joining us. You mentioned a bit about breakout sessions earlier. What are some of the breakout session discussions folks can expect?
Yeah, so in planning for the breakout sessions, there was a lot of discussion on the issues the committee felt our communities are really facing right now. And so those attending can be expecting history of youth organizing, a decision maker teach-in, media justice 101, organizing skill shares, foster youth-led organizing, international racial justice intersections, and youth experiences in the 2020 uprisings. These multitude of breakout sessions was really chosen from all of our discussions and the things that the organizations on the committee vocalized were issues we needed to touch base on.
The breakout sessions were designed to have well-balanced programmatic content that allowed for inclusivity and prioritize innovative solutions rooted in the race and multi approach. These workshops will provide attendees with practical tools that they can take back to their communities and utilize. What are you hoping to see at the conference? Why is it important for adults and youth to show up?
So I really hope to see a lot of youth attending. I think it's so important for youth to have an amazing space like this conference, to just collaborate and be able to share their ideas so freely. So I really want to see the young people come. But however, I also really hope to see young people and adult allies there, because sadly, these sort of spaces are somewhat rare, especially those in decision-making positions, like administrators, educators, and government institutions. I hope these adult allies will really spend the day learning about the important work youth are doing at the forefront of racial justice and social change. And so with that, directors should bring their staff and teachers should be bringing their students. And so really everyone who cares about this work or is involved in this work in some way should be there and should be at that conference.
I'm really excited to see what comes about from this conference. What are other aspects of the conference that attendees can participate in or experience?
So there's going to be an exhibit hall, and right now we're calling for vendors to be able to share the things they make or the things they're producing right now and really just be able to share it with everyone who attends. There's also going to be a wellness space and overall a ton of networking opportunities throughout the whole conference. And then, of course, the main stage performances, which are going to be really amazing. So I'm really excited.
It's definitely going to bring us full circle. I'm really, really excited to have you and the entire Generation Justice team join us. Thank you, Gianna, for taking the time to join us on the Momentum podcast today. It's been a pleasure having you with us. We're super excited to have you at the Race and Our Present, Our Future event on September 25th. If you're listening and are interested in joining us, log into raceand.raceforward.org for more information on how to participate. You can follow Generation Justice on Twitter and Instagram. On Twitter, it's Gen Justice, GEN Justice. On Instagram, it's Generation Justice. And their website is generationjustice.org. Join us September 25th.
Race and Our Present, Our Future.